Hello, hello. Let's get started. Are you excited? Okay, gosh darn. Tonight is gonna be quite the topic. Actually, some of my course group members gave me, some ideas of what to talk about and what people are really needing. So I'm excited about tonight's topic. I really like tonight's topic. I think it's an important topic, and I think it's something that a lot of people, to be quite honest, get very confused with. So it's important to really address this. Okay. So, for those of you who are new to the page here on Autism Mama Rocks the IEP, please post a one below. So, if you're new and you're watching me say the first, second time, post a one below. If you're an oldie but goodie, post a two below. Say hello. You guys know the drill. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Raven Woods. I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. Hands down, getting it done. Okay. So, again, one below if you're new, first, second time watching me live. Two below if you're an oldie but goodie. You guys better say hi. So tonight, what are we going to talk about? All right, you guys probably saw the topic. We're going to talk about evaluations. We're going to talk about IEEs, when IEEs need to be done. When do evaluations need to be done? What type of evaluations do you ask for? These are all important things that you have got to ask for so that you can make sure that your child's IEP is accommodated, created, and made up so that it's going to meet the needs of your child. Thank you, Sky.
Mom, on live.
I am on a live.
Talk to you soon.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. All right. I always allow my child to come in and interrupt me at all times because I think it's important that, just because I'm working and just because I'm doing things to help other parents, I've told her what I'm doing. I've told her all kinds of stuff. And so she thinks it's kind of cool. And so I think that's awesome when she comes and tries to be a part of for a second. All right, so what we're talking about today is so important, guys, and I've realized that so many people get confused, okay? So evaluations, when do you ask for them? IEEs, what the heck are they? What's the difference between evaluations and IEEs? And then what do you ask for? How do you even know who to go to and what's going on, right? And there's so much that goes into this. All right. So I actually printed out some notes, believe it or not, because this was a last minute topic. I had calls upon calls upon calls upon calls today. And normally I really plan for my lives, and today I did not. So I went live with my course group members, and I said, do you guys have an idea? What do I talk about? What do you guys want me to talk about? So I let them pick tonight. All right. So if it's not a topic you don't like, you can blame them. I'm just kidding. All right. So we're going to start off with evaluations. All right. So I'm going to start off actually not just with evaluations, but why do you ask for an evaluation and when? Okay. So a lot of school systems, and I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to be straight up to the point. Here it is. This is what's up. And then I'm going to get off here tonight because I can go on and on about this subject. Okay. And if you need to learn more, you can set up a discovery call with me, or you can sign up for the course, whichever it is you're wanting to do. The card is closed right now, but you are welcome to get on the waiting list and you can set up a discovery call with me. So with that said, if you're just hopping on, post a one below if you're new, post a two below if you're an oldie but goodie. My name is Raven Woods, and I am the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks the IEP, and I help parents become the CEO of their IEP meeting. So let's hop into the topic. All right. So evaluations, when your child has an IEP, I'm assuming your child has an IEP, that's why you're on here, right? So your child has an IEP, and when do you get an evaluation? Well, the school system, legally speaking, has to only do evaluations on your child triennially. I can't even say that word all the time. All right, so every 3 years, okay? So I'm seeing you guys. I see you. Just keep posting. Two below if you're new, or one below if you're new, two below if you're an oldie but goodie. And if you're watching the replay, still do it. Let me say hi to you guys, okay? So post a one below if you are new. All right, so don't ever do that, okay? I don't care if by law the school system has to do a evaluation on your child every 3 years because you and I both know that your child changes drastically in 1 year, let alone 3. You're telling me that you're going to do an evaluation on my child every 3 years, and each year until that evaluation is done, that IEP is appropriate? How so? How is that IEP appropriate? How is it meeting my child's needs? How are the accommodations, modifications, and services even close to meeting my child's needs if it stays the same each and every year and does not change based off my child changing, which is where a lot of parents' frustration comes from. You get frustrated, your child's needs aren't being met, no one knows what's going on, the school system keeps bullshitting you, and it's this big rigmarole of a hamster wheel that you seem to be on and can't get off. Okay? So, evaluation. Every single year. Every year you get an evaluation on your child. You request it from the school system, which by law, every school system in the United States allows a parent to request an evaluation on their child when it's called reasonable, within a reasonable amount of time. A year is a reasonable amount of time. Therefore, each state, and I've looked this up with COPA and, right in my rights law training, we discuss this in detail as well. But bottom line, every year, each and every state allows a parent to request an evaluation on their child. All right. So in my course group, I just recently posted the types of evaluations that you should have for your child. Okay. And so I printed it out because it's on my, we have a private course group for my students who have the course. And so it's a detailed explanation of what different evaluations you can request through the school. And some people just want to say a full and conclusive individual evaluation. Well, what does that mean? So you definitely want to be detailed as to what tests you're looking for and why. And you better be able to back up the why. And that's not that hard, but you have to be able to back it up. Okay, so now we've covered that. So you get an evaluation every year. Screw that every 3-year thing. The school is only mandated to do it every 3 years, not you. You actually can do it every single year, and your child changes drastically every single year. They change their size clothes. They change their shoe size possibly. They, change all types of things. They may like new foods. All these things that are changing with them that we visually see like that. Their educational and academics and behavior and things like that more than likely have changed in a year's period of time. Am I right? So every year, guys, every year. All right. And then you need to know how to write that email in the right way, because believe me, if you guys have seen the email that I recently posted for a parent who's requesting this and the comeback from the school of bullshit that I had to then write for her to say, this is what's going on. And immediately she was given the evaluation and the IEE. Okay. So you have to be able to write that email, get it done, know your laws, know what you're doing, request that evaluation every year, and get that done for your child. So the IEP is most appropriate for that child. It is not appropriate, which is crazy to me, to do an IEE or even an evaluation just simply with the school, an evaluation, and it be every 3 years. That's crazy. All right. You don't want to do that. That's a disservice to your child. You need to request it every year. Okay, so we talked about evaluations. We talked about that you have to be detailed as to what types of evaluations that you request, which is why I posted all the types of evaluations for my course members on them to have the whole document. All right, so next, what's the difference between an evaluation and requesting an IEE? All right, or what is an IEE? Okay, so an IEE is an individual education evaluation. Now, what I just talked about on my course group, I just went live with them. I go live every day, every other day with them. And this is how you need to dissect it. Okay, so an evaluation, you can just call it a school evaluation. That's what we're going to call it. All right, I'm a baby proof this because all these words and terminologies and verbiage of IEP is a clusterfuck. All right, and so it's confusing. So we're just going to call it a school evaluation, and you have to know what you're requesting. You have to know the types of evaluations that are done and why they're done and what needs to be done for your child and what's going to meet their needs. What services do they possibly need? What services, do they possibly not need? So then you can eliminate those. But bottom line, you need to know what to ask for, how, and what you need to back it up, which is not hard, but you need to know that in your email, because believe me, they're going to push back, but they can't if you request it every single year. You just need to know how to go about it to get them to stop the bullshit and say, okay. All right. Bottom line, that's what you have to do. Then moving on to an IEE, that's an individual education evaluation, totally separate from the school. So we're going to call that the parent's evaluation. So we're going to call it school evaluation, parent evaluation. Evaluations are evaluations. That's the middle part. Then we're going to have school evaluations, and we're going to have IEE, which we're going to now call parent evaluations. Make sense? Makes it easier to understand? All right, so the parent evaluations, which is your IEE, which is the individual education evaluation. There's also, which is why the evaluations I wrote up, you have to know what to go get. All right. Like I was just telling my students, sorry guys, I know y'all are on here. Sorry. Okay. So y'all are like my kids, but, just kidding. So you have to know who you want to go to. So who do you go to for a IEE that's going to have some, what I call clout? Okay. Believe it or not, certain people that you go to get an evaluation with have clout. All right. The school's not going to tell you that. They're going to bullshit you, and they're going to act like it's no big deal. Nothing. Right. But if you ever had to go to due process, I can promise you these people will have clout. Number one, developmental pediatrician. Go to one every single year. Okay. That doesn't mean every single year that you say, hey, I need an IEE. No. Okay, you go every year and you just get reevaluated. You validate that diagnosis. You get them retested with the test that they had the year before to see where they fall. Did they go up? Did they go down? Where is that they fell into? How is this working out? You want to know that stuff. This is important documentation for the IEP. You don't tell them it's for that. You're just asking them to reevaluate and redo the tests or any more tests that they can do. Okay? Then the next person other than a developmental pediatrician is a neurologist. Why? Because think about it. ADHD, autism, all these types of disabilities that we talk about a lot on here have a lot to do with the brain. A neurologist is specific to the brain. Okay? And a neurologist can do what is called a psychoeducational evaluation. One of the most important evaluations you will ever get your child. It is typically done throughout a period of time, I want to say a couple weeks, and it is so in-depth, it'll tell you everything you possibly want to know of how your child's going to be impacted in the school system. That test will give it to you. All right. A developmental pediatrician can do it. A neurologist is a better bet for you. They're both doctors. They're both people who can diagnose your child. Stop going to psychologists. You want to go to a psychologist? Go get counseling from one. Don't go to a psychologist to diagnose your child. Don't go to a psychologist to get so-called diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, etc. Go to a damn neurologist. Stop going to the psychologist, okay? Because they cannot diagnose your child. They can't. They can do testing to say, okay, your child appears to have this type of disability, or your child appears to have this, but they cannot diagnose. There's no diagnosis by a psychologist. Now, a psychiatrist can diagnose, but a psychologist cannot. All right. Go to a psychologist to be counseled. Don't go to a psychologist when it comes to disabilities in regards to this, because they're not going to help you that much. So you're going to hit a brick wall. All right. Developmental pediatrician, neurologist. If you have a lot of behavior issues, my next person is a BCBA, a board certified behavior analyst. You could be a total no-go when it comes to ABA. Bottom line, if your child has behavior issues, they need an FBA. That's another evaluation you need to have. All right. So another evaluation that I highly suggest is an FBA if your child has behavior issues. So let's go through it again. Neurologist, developmental pediatrician, BCBA. The next people in line are your service providers of who you, don't think about what they're in right now. If the school system's doing OT, PT, speech, whatever, think about what you think that your child needs and how they would benefit. A lot of people have a misunderstanding of what OT entails, okay? OT is not just holding a pencil and writing, okay? And it has so much more to do with so much that goes on with our kids, okay? So I highly suggest speech, OT, PT, and then your BCBA for behavior, and then you have your neurologist and developmental pediatrician, okay? Those are your top people of who you need to go to. Stop going to psychologists. Stop, and stop. if you have a child that needs to be counseled because there possibly may be depression, those types of things, a psychologist is perfect for that. But that's not a person you need to go to in reference to any type of diagnosis, any type of help in regards to the educational setting. Okay? Because it's not needed. It's really not. If your child has depression and those types of things, you can get all that written up by a neurologist. You can get that all written up by a developmental pediatrician. Okay? And they're going to have the clout that a psychologist does not have. Okay? So skip the psychologist. You want developmental pediatrician, neurologist, BCBA, if there's behavior issues, so that you can get an FBA, and then you want OT-PT speech. All right? All right, so let's dissect this again. Evaluations. That's what we're talking about. You have school evaluations. Better know what you're going to ask for. All right? That, like I said, I wrote up for my students all the evaluations you need to get. You have to know what evaluations. You have to know what they are. You cannot just write an email and say, I need a full and conclusive individual evaluation for my child. Okay. The school's going to do the half-assed part of the evaluation, and you're not going to get a full evaluation of your child and the possible needs that your child has to create an appropriate IEP so that their needs are met and they improve and progress in the educational setting, which is the whole point of the IEP, right? So you need to know that an evaluation is an evaluation. You have a school evaluation and you have an IEE. We're going to call that the parent evaluation. That's when you go out, you go to a doctor that you know of, you go to the neurologist you know of. If you have to get referrals, get referrals. But whether you have insurance, an HMO, PPO, or Medicaid, they all cover developmental pediatrician. They all cover a neurologist. All of them. All right. So if you have to get referrals and stuff, that's fine. But they all cover it. All right. And so your parent evaluation, which is your IEE, which is the individual education evaluation, that is outside of school. The school evaluation is inside of school. With both evaluations, you better know what to ask for. And there's a list of things that you can ask for that I'm very specific in my write-up. And it's super, super, super important to understand what they are, why they are important, and why you have to specify this in the email to the school that you need to get each and every year. Stop listening to the school when it comes to, we will do an evaluation every 3 years. If you look at your IEP, typically on the first page, it will say when your next evaluation is due, and it's typically 3 years from the original. All right. Another way the school, which is the school's mandated time in which they have to do that evaluation no matter what. But the parent can request an evaluation, a reevaluation every year. And I highly suggest you do, because your child changes every year. And if you want the most appropriate IEP in place, then you need to do that yearly. So you need to look at it like, okay, if your annual is coming up, then I would say 3-4 months before that, you need to request the evaluation, and then you go get an IEE. You also need to stop having yearly IEPs and have quarterly IEPs. That's another topic. So it's really, really, really important to know the difference between the two evaluations. One's school, one's what I call the parent, which is your IEE, and you need to know how to do that. Now, there's another way around this that I don't suggest. I say when you request the school evaluation, you go immediately and do your IEE. Like I said, insurances cover it, all right? But just say, all right, that you request the school evaluation, you didn't know, or maybe you're in the middle of getting a school evaluation, hopefully for the right type of evaluation, because if you don't ask for the right type of evaluation, they're going to half-ass it unless it's the triennial. And so you need to make sure that they're doing the right evaluations, because how pointless would it be to put your child through an evaluation, a pointless evaluation that's not going to help them, that's not going to accommodate them, that's not going to really dissect where they are, which is why I highly suggest a psychoeducational evaluation always, at least every 3 years, that type of evaluation. All right. And you need to just make sure that you understand the process. All right. So just hypothetically, like I was saying, you don't go and get your parent evaluation, all right, your IE. You get the evaluation at the school. Hopefully it's the right one. You get it back. And typically before the meeting to review the reevaluation that was done, you get a copy of it. You should, at minimum, 2 days before the meeting. All right. So you look at the evaluation, the reevaluation that the school did, and you're like, oh, heck no, this is not okay. You don't agree. Okay. Which you don't have to. So then you have what's called rights, okay? And so the school system then at that point has two choices. First, you need to send an email saying, I disagree with the school's evaluation. I don't feel it's appropriate for my child based off of A, B, and C. I am requesting the school to do an IEE on my child and pay for it. So I'm requesting the school to do an individual education evaluation that you get to pick the person, you get to go, you get to do all that. They don't get to choose, but it's at their expense. All right. Which I don't suggest that way. I don't, because why make them pay for something when you could totally make this process a lot less? So when you request a school evaluation, they have 60 days in which to complete that evaluation. Well, once you request that and you go get an IEE, which I suggest if you're going to go to a neurologist or a developmental pediatrician, that you get ahead of that and start scheduling that appointment, I would say 4 to 6 months in advance. So if you know you're asking for a school evaluation in February, then 4 to 6 months before that, you want to schedule your meeting and your parent evaluation, the IEE, earlier, because neurologists and developmental pediatricians can take a good amount of time to get into, up to 6 months if they're good. So just plan it, have a plan. And then just say you go this route that I don't suggest, and at their expense, they pay for the IEE. Well, they have, you have the right to request that, and they don't have a choice but to do it. Or there's two choices they got. 1, to pay for the IEE. 2, take you straight to due process. And I can guarantee you, okay, I won't guarantee. Let me take that back. I can promise you, they ain't taking you to due process over an IEE. They're going to spend a hell of a lot more in that IEE than they ever would spend on their school attorney taking you to due process, trying to prove, because whoever takes who to due process is the person who has the burden of proof. So the school would then have to prove that their evaluation is 100% legit, no mistakes, and that can't happen. Okay? So a school system cannot deny your request for an IEE. Well, I guess they could, because then they have to take you. So they do it, or they take you straight to due process. That's it. That's the only choices that they have. There's no but this, but that, sign this, sign that. Nope. It's yes, we will pay for your IEE, your individual education evaluation, for you to go to a neurologist, a speech therapist, whatever. Or they take you to straight due process. There's no discussion. It's one or the other. So don't discuss it. It's one or the other. I don't agree with your evaluation. You send the email. I don't agree with your evaluation because of A, B, and C. I request that the school system pay for an IEE for my child to go to a neurologist, speech, and this is what I need because I don't agree with your evaluation based off of ABC. Okay. So they can come back with whatever bullshit they want, and then your response back is no, ma'am, no, sir. 1, you pay for it, or 2, take me to due process. Don't be afraid to say that. All right, because those are those choices. That is the choice that they have by law. You request an IEE because you don't agree with their school evaluation. They can 1, take you to due process, or 2, pay for it. And I can promise you they're going to pay for it. They may fight you, but you just keep back and saying, no, 1 or 2. Due process, or are you going to pay for it? They come back, nope, 1 or 2. Due process, or pay for it. That's it. There's no discussion. All right? So that's how it goes. That's it. That's it in a wrap. That's it in a nutshell. That's evaluations. is what we talked about. You got school evaluations. You got what I call parent evaluations, which are IEEs. You go get them at the same time so that you can then come back, look at them both, compare them both, then approach the IEP meeting. And then you're well prepared, you're ready to go, and you're ready to rock. Then all you got to learn is how to PPPN, which is plan and prepare, present, persuade, negotiate, and you're becoming the CEO at that point. All right, so we're going to leave that alone. I got this out pretty quick. Let me see, 25 minutes. I see, if I don't talk to you guys, then I get to get things done pretty quickly. All right, so I'm excited. I got this done pretty quick. I'm trying to cut down my lives because I've been going live an hour and a half, and I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. So I just want to get out the topic, get out the content, get it into your brains, and then be done. All right? All right. So if you're hopping on here, if you've hopped on here while I was going crazy and throwing up all over you, post a 1 below. If you are new, this is your first, second. All right, I'll give you third time watching me live. Or if you're an oldie but goodie, post a 2 below. Let me say hi to you. You guys know the drill, and you guys always say hi to all the newbies, which is super cool because we love new people. We want this to be a community, and we are better together, right? And if you haven't joined the group, head on over to Autism Mama Rocks the IEP, the group, and start participating in all the conversation that goes on over there. It's super fun. And on Tuesdays, we do a live Q&A. Okay? So, wow, I can't freaking believe I got through all this. I printed stuff out. I had Skylar she likes to go get all the, stuff that I print out. And I usually print it out from COPA, which is all the updated information and not the bullshit on what I call the Google PhD that I received. You Google stuff. There's all these websites like Understood, Parent, I don't know, what is it? Parent something website. But if you look at them, a lot of them have old information, and ideas changed, and idea updates, and idea amends, and they need to keep up with the times. But whatever, that's another story. So with that said, I will answer a couple questions if you have them, because I was so damn fast. I'm so shocked. I can't believe how fast I was. It's crazy. But hopefully you can understand the difference. I wanted to dissect it for you, the school evaluations versus what I'm now going to call the parent evaluations, which is your IEE, your individual education evaluation. And then, how you have to know the importance of what evaluations to ask for, why, how you need to get them each year, and definitely not triennially. And that's it. All right. Because without evaluations each and every year, your IEP is not going to be written in the most appropriate way to accommodate your child in the most appropriate way and meet their needs. That's the whole darn point of the IEP, is to meet your child's needs. How many of you are going through where goals aren't right, needs aren't being met, more services need to be had, frustration, getting the pushback from the schools, getting the bullshit that the schools say, and you're like, is this right? Is this true? Can they really say that? I'm confused. All those things that you guys are going through, I get it. But the point is you need to know your stuff so that you can then proceed in the right way. All right. You need to be able to prepare and plan. You need to be able to present, persuade, negotiate, which is why I created my course in the first place. But bottom line, I want you to understand what evaluations are. I want you to understand how they're dissected, what you really need to request, and, the importance of that, and that you need to get rid of psychologists. You need to do your neurologist, your developmental pediatrician. Then you want to do a BCBA if there's behavior issues, and then speech, OT, and PT as far as services. That's it. Okay. And between the neurologist and the developmental pediatrician, somewhere along the line, if you have not already had one, you need what's called a psychoeducational evaluation, which will give you the whole workup in where your child's specific need is and where they're going to falter in the educational setting. It'll give you the whole picture. All right. So 1 below if you're new, first, second, maybe third time watching me live. 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. I'm going to stay on here. It's been 29 minutes. God, I did a good job, right? You guys need to like give me a clap or something if there's like some sort of emoji like that, because I shocked my own self going that fast and getting the content in so that you can have it, you can digest it, and you can own it and make it your own. So I'm going to answer questions for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to hop off here and try to eat some dinner. All right, so here we go. Hi, Tara and Brittany and Michelle and Joy and Jessie and Jennifer. These are like all my students. All right. We have Anitra, long time no talk girl. Hey, Kamisha, how are you? Vanessa, hello. Michelle's laughing at me because I'm trying to rush and trying to be more cautious of my time. I pushed myself so hard to help you guys. I've had back-to-back calls today. I have 2 emails that I have to write up by tomorrow for parents. And then, I really try to give you guys as much as I can live. And I have some of my students even saying, Raven, stop. You give us a lot of information. Thank you. But you need to like have your own sanity. So I appreciate them thinking about me too. So Kimberly, yes, I agree. 100% neurologist. Yes. Angela, hey, how are you, girl? Hey, Aaron and India. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And Hernandez, hello. And Kimberly, welcome. So Nicole, hello. And Marquise, hello, how are you? Gosh, some of these people I haven't talked to in forever. Then I have Tiffany. What is the best way to get a school district to ship child to specialized behavior school? We have IEP meeting Monday. I feel like they're just babysitting him. Well, it depends on your child's needs. I can't really specifically answer that because I don't know anything about your child. However, the first thing I would do is have a FBA done, specifically because you're wanting a specialized behavior school. So you definitely need a FBA done and a BIP in place to even have anything to stand on. But if you already have one that's recent, I would say within the last 6 months, then you need to possibly talk to a BCBA, the person who did the FBA. And hopefully that's outside the school. And if you haven't, go get one. And then you need to bring that person in to help advocate for you. And all BCBA can do in advocating for a parent in an IEP meeting is speak specific to behavior, because that's their specialty. They can't speak IEP. They can speak specific to behavior and the accommodations, modifications, and services that can be put in place to help behavior. All right, so that's where I'd start. Kimberly says, how do you work a diagnosis? Is PDA into your IEP? What do you mean PDA? When I think of PDA, I think of public display of affection. So you gotta dissect that one for me. Maybe it went over my head. Then autism, typically ABA doesn't work of other diagnoses. There is never a one size fits all, ever. There's not a one size fits all with the IEP. There's not a one size fits all with our kids. Each and every one of our kids learn differently. Any teacher, school system, district, I don't give a shit, who says that your child has to learn in this cage and that's the only way they can learn, you better tell them where to jump, because that is not true. I learn differently than you learn differently than me. Our kids definitely learn differently than other people and other kids. So that's just not true. That's why the plan is called an IEP, an individual education plan, meaning that individual unique child and their specific needs. So, however, in regards to ABA therapy, no, it doesn't work with everybody. However, ABA therapy is not specific to autism and ADHD. Pam, hey, how are you? And that's it, I think. Oh, y'all saw the claps. That's awesome. Go you. I didn't even know there was one out there. I've never used it. Then we have Renee. Welcome. Are you new? You put Tia Thompson. Is that like someone you're trying to tag? That's awesome. Thank you. And if you guys want to share this, share away. If you want to know when I go live, click notifications, and then you'll know when I go live. And if you hop over to the group, I think there's some sort of, I got to find out where notifications are over there. But click notifications here on the page. Click notifications over on the group. You'll know when I go live. You don't have to come get on live right when I'm live, but at least you'll know I had gone live. So you can go back and watch later. And you also can there's something else that you can, I think it's some sort of click that you do to know that somebody goes live. So you can click notifications, but then there's options. So you can do that. Okay. So then at least you'll know when I go live, you'll know to go check out the video. And, you know, if it's something that helps you, I sure hope it does. And if not, we're going to get to a topic that will, I promise. So, and if you guys ever have topics that you want to discuss, feel free to post that. I would highly suggest if you're not over in the group, go over to the group and post it there. And if you want, I can post a picture that says, hey, post topics that you want to discuss. And, you know, you guys can post under that. So that'd be a great thing to do. But yeah, so that's what tonight's topic was about, is understanding that evaluations and school evaluations are very different than IEEs, even though the type of evaluations can be somewhat the same. IEs are actually more expandable because you can obviously go to doctors and many different types of therapists. And you actually also can ask for a psychoeducational evaluation from the school, but more than likely they're going to tell you to jump a creek. So you have to have one hell of a reason to request it from a school system, which you can do. It is possible. It is something that is able to be accomplished. It's just you have to have the right stuff in your bag to be able to start pulling out all your cards, you know? And so that's the most important part. And that's what comes into and is part of the plan and prepare, the first P in my PPPN, which is crucial in nailing this IEP process and understanding the whole thing from beginning to end. Okay? So if there's any of you that want to set up a discovery call with me, make sure that you click on the link. If somebody wants to post that, they can. If not, when I jump off, I will post the link to schedule a free discovery call with me to see if you're maybe in a situation where things are just really overwhelming and stressful. You have a meeting coming up, you don't know what to do. Things are just not in the right place for you as far as that IEP going the right way. I'm really big on telling parents, reschedule that damn IEP meeting. Stop thinking you got to go and attend an IEP meeting just because you think you have to be there. If you're not fully prepared, do not go. Reschedule. Unless it's your annual, and you can look on your IEP and see when your last, but because hopefully from now on you go quarterly, like I suggest. But if it's your annual, say your annual was February 28th of 2019. So by February 27th, typically of 2020, you have to hold that meeting. So if it's your yearly and you still need to have an evaluation or you're not ready or whatever, then, which is why from now on, starting right now, start preparing for next year. So you know when to do the evaluations, you know when to go get the IE, you're prepared. But now that you're just learning, it's okay. Take a deep breath. But what you can really look at, that's the group, I think. You want the link to the, to sign. Is that the, Nicole, is that the one for the group or is that the one for the discovery call? I posted on the course page, the discovery call one. So thank you. I appreciate it. What was I saying? Shit. I don't remember what I was saying. Anyone tell me what I was saying? I got sidetracked. So, I think what I was saying. Oh, in reference to your IEP and rescheduling. That's what I was saying. So, in reference to your IEP and rescheduling, don't be afraid to do that. Actually, get really good at doing that. Okay? Get really good at changing the appointment. So what? They do. And then they won't even have the right people there, and then you got to table it anyway if you know that you're supposed to do that. But you should get the meeting notice, and then you'll know who's going to be there and if that's appropriate to you or not. So, bottom line, get good at rescheduling your IEPs. If you are not ready, why waste your time or theirs? The purpose of going to the IEP meeting is to make change, is to address goals, is to see what's been improved, what hasn't, what's stagnant, what's the same, what's the problem, what's maybe not the problem, what's going good, who knows? So you have to be able to have everything together, like the evaluations and your progress reports and things together, so that you can be ready to present and persuade them to do what's most needed for your child and their individual and unique being of special needs, and to be able to accommodate them in the right way with the proper services that they need, accommodations, etc. All right. Do they have to have ABA in school? Do they need to, have an individual speech, which I've heard of a lot of people lately who have group speech. That's crazy. Get rid of that quick. Or group OT. That's so stupid. Like, they don't do that here. I've never heard of it. Until recently, honestly. And I think it's schools' laziness on the fact that they don't hire enough service providers because they can't keep enough service providers. So then they half-ass it by doing group OT and speech, when that's an individual thing. What group of children can you put together who are in the same path, who are on the same path, who speak the same and have the same occupational therapy needs? Tell me one group you can put together that has the exact same. How are you going to help those kids if they don't have the exact same? How are you going to accommodate them in a group setting for OT and PT? That's another subject. Don't get me on a tangent. All right. So I just found the notifications on both groups. Good. Good. So Jesse, maybe you can tell everybody where they click notifications on the group and here on the page, so that people are straight with that, because I can't see it. So Kimberly says pathological defiance disorder is a rare form of autism. Okay, great. Demand on them what causes a huge meltdown. I got you. Behavior list isn't not followed. Here, let me show you guys this question. All right, can you maybe see it? There we go, to take up the whole page. So this is what I'm reading right here, and it's good because it's explaining. She said PDA. I had no idea what PDA was. So, oh, perfect. Thank you, Nicole. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. All right. So, that was interesting. Yeah. So that's why it's UK stuff. All right. Got you. All right. Awesome. All right, so Nicole was kind enough to post the link for the discovery call. So if you guys need to make a discovery call with me to talk about any types of things that are going on in regards to your IEP, so that you can, be set on the right path, so to speak, okay? You can set up the discovery call with me, and if something's not available, because they are booking up pretty quickly, then PM me and I can possibly try to fit you in. Today I was able to meet with people earlier because of spacing, and then I had to push other people. So just let me know. I'll try as best I can to accommodate you. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? All right. I think that's it. So now we're at 43 minutes. I'll stay on for 2 more minutes if you guys have questions. And that's awesome. I'm excited. I was able to get the content out. It was solid content of what is what. I wanted to get that out there because many people were getting confused as to how to request IEEs versus school evaluations, and, just getting all the terminology all jumbled up, which makes total sense because there's so much verbiage when it comes to this foreign language of a process of an IEP, and I get it. So yeah, it's crazy. So thank you, Nicole. So if you're just hopping on, post a 1 below so I know even once I get off that you're new. And if you haven't joined the group, head over to Autism Mama Rocks, the IEP group, because a lot of conversation goes on there. Other parents help other parents. You're able to kind of see where they've been and what's going on, and you're able to retainment. Amy, hi, how are you? But I just did a huge conversation and live on restraints and all kinds of stuff. So if that's what you're talking about, let me know. Hey, how are you, Stephanie? And Anitra, have a good rest of your evening. Thank you. You guys too. But yeah, set up a discovery call with me. I will help point you in the right direction of, kind of where you need to go or what's going to best help you, whatever the case may be, or even if you just want to vent. I don't have a question, but I wanted to share that today I got appointments set up for a new evaluation for my sons. I'm glad to go on. Yay! Still on a lookout for the developmental pediatrician. Yeah, just, start asking people, Google it. You may have to go to the closest city near you, but you'll be good. All right, even if you have to kind of travel. I traveled 2 hours to go to my developmental pediatrician because she came so highly recommended. So don't be afraid to travel because it's worth it. All right, and you only go to them once a year, so it's not like you're going to be, with them every other month, So, all right. So we're at 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I did it. All right. See, I did it. And all my students are going to be so proud of me, especially Michelle, because I was cautious and conscious of my time because I can go above and beyond. And then I have a video that's an hour and a half long and it's kind of gotten crazy. So I'm going to try to keep things at the very most an hour, but for Thursday nights, 45 minutes is a good thing, but there's going to be some topics that may push us into the hour. So Thursday nights would be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Monday night, I'm going to try to stick to 30 to 45 minutes for the Monday tip of the week. And then over on the group, we do a Q&A, and that's usually 30 to 45 minutes. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. And yes, I have to go to another. Yeah. So Amy says retainment of a child to stay behind in school. Oh, yeah. Are you new, Amy? So welcome. I don't think I've seen you on here before. So are you asking my thought process? Okay, so you said, how do I feel about it? Well, I held my daughter back in kindergarten. I don't recommend it for once they hit middle school. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying that in some situations it's not advisable, but for any child, special needs or not, once they get into the upper grade levels, it can really do a lot to their psyche. All right. It can do a lot to their emotional well-being. And whereas in the grade school, K through 5, it's not as impactful. Okay, so that's my 2 cents. You're the parent. You need to make your choices and decisions for you and your child and your family. But you asked for my 2 cents. Hey, girl.
Mom, can I put that on crazy?
I can. Can you give me 2 minutes and then I'll be with you?
Mom, unhug.
2 minutes. I'll see you in a second.
I have a hug, bitch.
2 minutes. Go on. All right?
Yeah.
You want a hug? All right, come here. I'll be right there. I'm going to be right there.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So yes, I would say if they're in grade school and that's how you feel, 100%. If they're in middle school or high school, that's when you have to kind of think about your situation and sit down, write down the pros and cons. What is it really going to do if they're held back? If they're not, then what is that going to do? So you got to ask yourself those questions. And you know what? As a parent, in your gut what's up. You know in your gut the right answer to that. All right. You're struggling. You're wanting validation. And I get that. But you, the parent, know best. Trust that. All right. So if you're hopping on and you are watching the replay, please post a 1 below. If you're new, post a 2 below. If you're an oldie but goodie, say hi, ask your questions. I come back and I still answer them. Schedule a discovery call if you're wanting to talk with me more. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.